Hello, I'm Chris Bath and I'm a journalist and TV anchor for the 7 Network. And I'm proud to say I was born and raised in Sydney's West. I'm a Westie. Grew up in South Wentworthville, went to Ringrose Primary, which I think we might have called Ringworms when I was a kid, then to Holroyd High. I won't tell you what we used to call that. But just like the people you're about to hear from in this DVD, I was the first person in my family to ever go to university. And until I did, I really didn't know much about it. My mum didn't finish high school because she had to work to support her brothers and sisters. My dad went to tech to become a draftsman. He ended up working with concrete. So no university in their history whatsoever, and not for my grandparents either. And you know what? For lots of people, that's fantastic. But this DVD is full of ideas about how to try something a bit different from what's around you, about trying university as a way to follow your dreams, or even using university as a way of opening up opportunities you'd never thought of. So please watch this with an open mind and enjoy it.
Oh, there's a shot from Corey Payne or Jason Riles. Play back to Payne. Payne, and he slams the ball over the line. Payne has scored. Continuing on, pouring into a huge gap as Corey Payne makes it.
My name's Corey Payne. I grew up and currently still live in St John's Park, and I'm currently an NRL player for the Canterbury Bulldogs. I previously played for the West Tigers and also St George Illawarra Dragons.
Isaac Lucas picked up. Ahead, straight away they shifted left down there and they got away.
Besides playing professional sport, I've also gone on and studied at the University of Sydney, completing a Bachelor of Commerce in Accounting and Commercial Law in 2007, and I'm currently studying a Master of Commerce in Entrepreneurship and Finance, also at the University of Sydney. I would first like to start by stating how proud I am to be the 2011 recipient of this award. So both of my parents, neither of them finished high school, let alone went on to university. My father has operated a small fruit and vegetable family run business for the last 40 years, which is based in the city. And my mum, she went on to become a hairdresser. So as a youngster growing up, all I ever wanted to do was play first grade rugby league for the Bulldogs. I supported the team, I supported the club. Used to come out to Belmore Oval and watch the team go around, and that sort of set my ambitions to become a first grader for the Bulldogs. I love footy and I love the challenges that rugby league presents to me, but I understand that the football career isn't something that I'm going to be able to do when I'm in my 40s. Further study gives me opportunities, and that's why I've always decided and I've always persevered with my studies, however challenging they have been.
Asylum seekers. Joining me this morning to discuss is the Immigration Minister Chris Bowen. Minister, good morning to you.
Good morning to you.
Welcome to the program.
Thanks, Heather.
Chris Bowen, thanks for joining us.
Pleasure, Ali. Nice to be with you. Well, I'm the Minister for Immigration and Citizenship. I'm also the local member for McMahon, which covers parts of southwestern Sydney, Fairfield, Smithfield, Greystone, St Clair, Erskine Park, those sorts of areas. It's the area I grew up in. It's a great job representing my community in the federal parliament. And being Minister for Immigration is not the easiest job I've ever done, but it certainly provides some interesting challenges. I grew up in Smithfield in Western Sydney, lived in a 5-row house, went to the local public primary school, the local public high school, and then went to university, got into economics at the University of Sydney, and pretty standard Western Sydney suburban upbringing. My dad worked at the NRMA, and my mum was a childcare worker, and just managed to get into uni by working hard at school. I sometimes tell the story of my first day at university, and the tutor came in and said, well, tell me a little bit about yourselves, and it started with a girl saying, she was from Skeggs College, and then a boy from Riverview, then a boy from King's College, and a boy from Sydney Grammar, and it got to me, and I said, I'm Chris, I'm from St John's Park High School. I was the only public Western Sydney school represented in the room, and just for a fleeting second I wondered, well, maybe have I made the right choice here, am I going to fit in? But went on to do very well at university, very pleased with the education I got, and learned a lot from the people I was studying with, but I'd like to think they learned something from me as well.
I'll turn now to the Minister for some comments and then we'll take questions.
Thank you very much, Prime Minister.
Sometimes you pinch yourself and think, here's me, a little boy from Smithfield who's chatting to the President of the United States or the Prime Minister of another country, or even our own Prime Minister. And it is a great honour, but it's also important. I still live where I grew up, still live in Smithfield, and keep in touch with the area that I represent. That's important as well.
I'll be at Darling Island if you need me. Thanks. Hi, John. How many we got on tonight? 550. And what have we got? Dinner or cocktail? We've got 600.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. So all those special meals are fine?
Yep.
Great. So we had lunch. How many did we have lunch?
Yeah, 350.
And we're converting it to 550 tonight. Fantastic.
Hi, I'm Anna Cesarano. I'm one of the directors of Doltone House Venue and Catering Collection. And what Doltone House is, it's pretty much an outgrown family-run business. We've got about 300 staff now. And we pretty much host a lot of events, whether it be a corporate event, a social event, and along with the catering, so the food and beverage side of it. I'm one of 3 siblings of Italian migrants. My father migrated in the 50s to Australia, as did my mum. Dad arrived with a suitcase, pretty much with all his belongings in the one suitcase.
He was very ambitious to own his own business, and he ended up in a greengrocer in Lakemba. My father was inspirational in my choice to want to choose university. It was something, an opportunity that he wasn't given. It was purely funds didn't allow for it. He would have loved to go to university. I think he would have done really well, but I'm proud to say that of the family, I was able to achieve that goal for him.
Esho joins us now from City Index. Peter, talk us through Qantas shares bigger.
My name's Peter Esho. I'm the Chief Market Analyst at City Index, Asia Pacific. So really my role is to be the market mouthpiece. I like the fact that every day is different with markets. You can wake up and come to work every single day and you'll be talking about something completely different. It's very exciting. It's got that element of surprise.
At City Index, we provide market insights to help elevate your trading beyond the ordinary, so you can trade markets whatever, whenever and wherever you want.
I grew up in southwest Sydney, and so I came from a background where I was the first to potentially go to university. My parents came from Iraq, and they were part of a minority group in Iraq, and my parents had to flee their country at that age of just about to go into university, just on the verge of turning into adults. And so I really had the option whether to go down the road that not good enough and oh, it's too hard and low expectations, or I could really push hard and really take on board this challenge. And I'm very happy in the way that I've taken on that challenge, and I think it's a very good feeling to be very satisfied with your job. It's great to wake up every day and love what you do.
So Stephen, we're here to talk about the live donor operation in areas where there's a very great shortage of organs.
So my name's Charbel Sandroussi. I'm a liver transplant and upper gastrointestinal surgeon. I work at Royal Prince Alfred Hospital. I grew up in southwestern Sydney in a place called Payne. My parents were migrants from Lebanon, and my father worked in as a welder in a boiler making factory. They used to make large pressure vessels, and my mother looked after us when we were at home. Yeah, so even though my parents hadn't done any higher education or been to university, I had lots of relatives who were a generation above me in Sydney who'd been to university, and I saw what it did for them and helped as a drive for me to study and work a bit harder.
I've just finished doing an operation on your dad, Stephen.
Yep.
Everything's gone well.
Okay. Some of the best things that I do are in the transplant patients, where you take patients who are very sick, they're almost dying, and then you transplant their liver, for instance, and you see them a few months later. They may have a difficult time after the surgery because it's quite a large operation, but you see them a few months later and they're functionally back to normal, they're back with their families, and they live out their normal lifespan, where otherwise they'd probably be dead. So, that's one of the most enjoyable aspects of my work.
Do you think the party's got the message from John Faulkner that changing leaders isn't the answer?
Well, it's not a message from John Faulkner, it's actually a message from the people.
Harold Mellon, Federal Member for Banks.
I'm of Lebanese descent. My father was a hawker, but also a market gardener, and in the end a bootmaker. So he had a number of professions over the years. I was trained and always wanted to be a lawyer. I was a defence lawyer in criminal matters. I was a good talker as a kid, one of 10 children, so I always made sure I was heard. And indeed, doing economics and law at Sydney University, that's what my career was going to be. I joined the Labor Party in 1974, at the time of the 1974 election, because of the vision of Whitlam the fact that I was at university courtesy of a Labor government. They'd opened up university, so I'd decided to